Thank you very much. I was so excited about the audience questions that I skipped over the one I was intending to ask myself. But there is an audience question that's very similar along these lines. As many of you know, and you candidates that have been following media and press coverage of this race, there's been a lot that's been written about the community tensions, the different constituencies vying for power, different dynamics between the candidates themselves. And so there's a lot of tension even outside of District 8 about the dynamics of this particular race. So the question is for each of you, if you were the successful candidate elected to office, what would you do to restore a sense of unity and collaboration between all the constituencies in District 8? That was my question, and the audience question was, after this campaign, what are the specific things you will do to attempt to unify this district? And that starts with Pastor Stewart.
Bringing people together, being a consensus builder, collaborating is something I've done for the last 36 years. We won the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday in 1992 after a long fight, and we were able to have at the table people that never sat at the same table before, of all diverse backgrounds, faith-wise, politically-wise, economically-wise, in every way. And we had a common goal to honor Dr. Martin Luther King and what he stood for. And we knew, and as the chair of Victory Together, I knew that it was important that in that room we had a common goal, and whatever differences we had outside of the room, they needed to stay outside for that common goal. And even when we disagreed, we would agree to disagree agreeably. And so I would do the same. As I said a few moments ago, this is a very diverse district, the most diverse, I believe, in the entire city. And my campaign committee, those who are working supporting me, you look across the board, every race, every religion, every persuasion, and so I would use those same types of skills in order to move forward.
It's time. Thank you. Luis Rodriguez.
Well, obviously you have to bring people together. If you're going to be a representative of people, that's the number one priority, I think. There's no way you can know what people expect or what people desire or what their problems or issues are if you don't get together with them. I plan on using technology, not just email, but different ways to kind of get to people and get what they have on their minds. I would like to go to each, parts and different parts of the district, just regular old parks, and walk around and talk to people. Get out and actually talk to people. I think the problem with most government is we sit in an office and we have these commissions and we call these meetings, and there's plenty of people that show up, but there's a lot of people that are busy with their lives, and we need to go out to where they're at. We need to go to the churches, we need to go to the parks, we need to go to the schools, and that's how you get and connect with people. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Lowry.
Well, most people know that I'm a people person anyway. I just love people. And I always take time to talk to people. And if I had money, then I'd own this seat, because they wouldn't be able to keep up with what I've done. I've been a community worker all my life. Ask how many people have been invited to the White House for the weekend. Carolyn T. Laurie have. That comes from work, volunteer work. So I love people. I want to see people happy. I want to see people happy in District 8 again like I used to. All I see now is sad people walking through the district like dead people. We got a growing city. Let's grow with the city. That's the way I feel about it. I think we can do a pretty good job if we get to know one another.
Thank you. Lawrence Robinson.
I was proud to be asked by our mayor once he was elected, and I helped with him with that election, to draft the anti-discrimination protections, the revisions to the anti-discrimination ordinance that now protect every citizen equally across the city, whether you're disabled, gay, straight, white, black, rich, poor, woman, or man. That's how you bring people together, is that you provide the protections for them. But you also provide the resources that a city should provide. We can come together around the fact that when our kids play together at libraries or at parks or at after-school programs, or seniors play bridge together, that brings people together. It creates community. You have to create and foster that sense of community. But something that I've also done is, last night we passed the first comprehensive anti-bullying policy at the Roosevelt School District Board. When you teach kids how to get along and to not look at their differences as problems, not to be colorblind, but actually to honor the differences that we have, which is a resource that we have unlike any other city council district, you're going to play on the benefits and the realities and honestly the advantages that we have as a district. That's what I'm working to do.
Thank you. Kate Gallego.
I was talking to a neighbor, a mom in Levine, about how she had to bring her daughter home from summer school because of the air quality problems. Her daughter had asthma and was really feeling very sick, especially with all of the mulch fires. And that mother happened to be African American, but she could have just as easily been Asian American or any other race, because so many of the problems that our community faces are problems that really unite us, that we all face regardless of our background. And I think we need a council member who's focused on solutions and really going in there and saying, we don't have enough medical services. How can we develop partnerships and bring in those resources? We don't have a lot of great family entertainment options. Who can we look to who might be able to work with us? We don't get all of the city investments in parks. How many vacant lots do we have that were supposed to become parks? And everyone will benefit from that. So I think that we can really bring the community together and unify people by getting things done and investing in our community and saying that there is so much more that unites us than divides us.
Thank you. The next series of questions will lead off with Luis Rodriguez, and I'm going to combine two. One says, bicycle infrastructure linking Phoenix to Tempe is non-existent and makes commuting dangerous and near impossible. What can you do to ensure bicycle commuters can travel safely between these two cities? The similar question is the cost of public transportation is through the roof. What portion of this cost should be borne by those that use it? So I would say, please speak to your vision for improving transportation infrastructure throughout District 8, including bicycle and pedestrian use.
Well, I think infrastructure is something that's very important. Bicycle lanes are, well, they're a tough deal. You know, they shouldn't be necessary. Bicycles are vehicles. And I understand the concept of bicycle lanes, and I think they're important, but we have to understand and we have to be honest that there are some places where they're not going to be possible. I think we can, in some areas, certainly put in bicycle lanes. But more importantly, infrastructure, I think we need to really look at. Everybody talks about infrastructure, and my view is that we need to look at it in a different way. We need to look at it in blocks. We need to look at it in small, little communities. The busing system takes forever. I don't know if anybody's ridden the bus, but it takes a long time. So I want to cut the size of the buses and cut the size of the routes and help people locally within small communities, within a maybe 2-mile radius, get to the buses that go the long distance quicker. And they'll also get in and around the community quicker as well.
Thank you. Ms. Lowry.
I know one thing, I know we need more transportation. We need better transportation out here in South Phoenix. So many of my friends can't get to work, can't go to a party at night because they don't have no buses running that way. And I see that all the bus stuff going on in North Phoenix. I want to see why we can't bring some of that service to South Phoenix. Because I'm not going to live in North Phoenix, I'll be in South Phoenix, so I'm looking out for South Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? So we need that help. Plus the environment, I mean, let's make it a health issue. You know, I mean, bicycling is good for you. We can work it in like that. Get some of that weight off of us. I need to do that. Yeah, quite a few of us need to do that. So the bicycles, we have to realize that there are people on those bicycles. And we gotta stop driving careless, you know, very careless and not caring enough about the people. Put yourself in that position and see what'll happen. You'll change your mind.
Thank you. Lawrence Robinson.
So we need to talk about connectivity. When I did work for the mayors I spoke about, I took them to Higher Heights Church over off of Wood Street and 16th. And I remember seeing the fact that there were no sidewalks in that neighborhood. And there were not only no sidewalks in the neighborhood that desperately needs them, but there also were no stop signs when you came to intersections. And there were kids playing all throughout that neighborhood. So you start with investing in the infrastructure on the base level, which is sidewalks. You put shade along those sidewalks and along our streets like every other part of the city has so that you can actually walk it. You connect that to bike routes, bus routes, and then you connect it to light rail. And when you connect all of that, you create jobs because you're creating infrastructure. I served on the City of Phoenix Water Rate Commission, where we successfully saved our AAA bond rating. By doing that, we have a rating to invest in the infrastructure that will bring jobs and ease the daily lives of our citizens. It's all about the connectivity and creating better jobs, creating better access, and creating a better quality of life for our citizens. That's what I want to do.
Thank you. Kate Gallego.
This is another issue where I have the experience to make sure that District 8 gets its fair share of transportation investments. I chaired the Phoenix Environmental Quality Commission when we created the bicycle subcommittee, which has been fighting for more investments in bicycle infrastructure. So when we started this process, the city was spending about $35,000 allocated to bicycling, and in this last budget, it's up to $1.5 million. So it was a long fight, and I have a lot of letters from the city manager saying, oh, we already do enough, don't worry, and you can't compare us to other cities. But we kept fighting, and I have that record of getting things done. I was also chairing the Environmental Quality Commission when we asked the city to develop a complete streets policy, which will make sure that we design our streets for people in wheelchairs, for people who are walking, and for bicyclists, and make it safe for everyone, regardless of what mode of transportation you use. I also have worked at the Salt River Project, and I understand our canal infrastructure and the tools other cities have used to really upgrade their canals and make them a great tool for connectivity
That's
and
time.
commuting to places like Tempe.
Thank you. Pastor Stewart.
There's a gentleman who was here tonight who I met knocking on his door a few weeks ago, and I saw him again tonight. He just ridden in from Tempe and back. And so people like him need to have safe bike lanes so they can go wherever they want to do. That's the way they choose to go. But another aspect of this connectivity, my daughter has to walk 1.5 miles to catch a bus to go to work. We don't live far from here. That really should not be happening in the city of Phoenix. And we need to do something to make sure that we have equity when it comes to public transportation for those who need it every day, as well as safe transportation for those of us who use other means of transportation. Rapid bus transportation is an alternative to everybody wants to light rail, but before that, tomorrow, we could have rapid bus transportation to move people faster even today at a less expense.
Thank you very much.